Welcome back, everyone, to the LCS Challengers League. Man, I'm convinced TL's comfort zone is when they have like a 5K plus deficit because, you know, this is the second time we see them fall really behind somewhere in the early to mid. But this time it works out. Now we have a series, Josh.
Yeah, I'm just convinced whoever Cubby says is going to win the game is going to lose. So just stop making predictions, and I think we're okay. Love you, Cubby. He can hear me through the wall.
Okay.
There it is.
Hold on, let me take a look at this. Me calling every game over and then it not being over and going the other way. Challengers, baby. Cubby does this all the time, man. He did this, I forget what series it was.
It's a done and dusted phrase.
Yeah, it's the done and dusted phrase that he keeps saying. Concept, it's never really done, right?
It's never over. I mean, that's my biggest beef. People are like, oh, this game's over. And I'm like, why did you say that, though? But, like,
but now it's going to go an extra 30 minutes.
I came into today thinking that this could be, like, I think one of the best series in the playoffs. I think that these teams are both looking really strong. And that, I think that they're pretty evenly matched. And, you know, during that game, I actually started to go in favor of C9 because I've been predicting TL. But it looked like C9 was the better team, honestly, after how they came back, like, in the game at that third Drake. They just took the lead there and they just kept snowballing. And it was really impressive, honestly, but you know, TL did stay poised and they came back, which is just as impressive. I think both teams are looking really good, and this series will be honestly one of the best of the playoffs so far.
Well, Concept, it's time for a Rally Cry halftime show, and this time we're going to play Tic-tac trivia. Very simple. You pick a square. We'll get you on an X or a circle or one of those, and if you get the answer right, you get to mark that square. But they can steal it from you. So to figure out who is going to be the first one, let's do a coin flip, shall we?
Oh, okay.
Concept, I'll let you pick. Heads or tails?
I'll take tails. I'll take tails.
All right. Here it goes. Flip coming out. Concept, you get to go first, brother.
Naturally.
So here we go. We got the board now onto the screen.
What do you have against capital letters?
No. I hate capital letters. Go ahead, Concept. Go ahead and pick a player.
I think I'll have to take APA here. I have to take APA. It seems pretty strong.
All right.
Pretty strong on this board.
All right.
Yeah.
Here's your first question. In an interview, APA was asked if he could be any animal, what would he be? What did APA choose, Concept?
Wow. I mean, APA? What animal is APA choosing? I'll throw a shot in the dark. Maybe a wolf?
Wrong, Josh. Can you steal?
I'm pretty sure he said human.
Wrong again. APA.
I thought it was as well.
APA said he wanted to be a goat because he is the goat.
I remember that. I actually do remember that. Somebody, I swear, there is a player that just said, if you could be any animal, it's like, can I say human? And they were like, yeah, I guess so. They just said, yeah, I just want to be me. Like, all right, respect. But, I mean, APA, I guess none of us get the central square, so that's going to make this tic-tac-toe a little bit harder.
Yeah, it just got much more intense right there, Josh.
Yeah, now that I think about it, that will make it a little hard.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes.
Let me take Arrow. If I can take this one before a Concept can get to it, I think that'll be a pretty big boon.
Good. Okay. What was the name of Arrow's character in the hit 2022 LCS mockumentary Players?
I didn't watch that show.
What?
I didn't watch it. No.
Josh!
I don't know. I didn't watch.
See, I put on this face, I was like, that wasn't because I watched the show, and like I was like, oh, but it's a free question.
I know. Everyone in your house said it all the time. Everyone in your house was calling it.
No, I don't even remember his name. I don't know everyone's name in the show. Like, I agree, I should know this. I don't know though. Like, and you don't know it either. But that's.
Wait, no, I remember Chad and Joey were calling it him all the time, and you're like, your guys' house.
Yes.
Tour. What?
Josh, come on, something.
I have an excuse for not watching it.
Hold on. So that we can actually have a chance to finish this tic-tac-toe game, can we at least get the first letter of his name?
B.
Bream bees.
What?
Because I know the main character is cream cheese.
Cream cheese. Yeah, everybody knows cream cheese.
You're all wrong. It's BAP. We gotta move on to the next one. This is terrible. It's just
it's Bob.
disaster.
Yeah. Bob. Yeah.
Concept.
This is bad. This is bad.
At this point, this is just for points, man. You guys are not getting a tic-tac.
No, it's still winnable. It's still winnable. Lost in Zazel will not be part of the win, unfortunately, but it's still winnable here.
All right. Go ahead. Concept. Pick one.
I'll have to take Mir here. I think.
Yeah, he's the only one.
Mir's
You
going
have
to be
to-
a pretty big piece here, so Mir for sure. Yeah.
Okay, Concept, please, please. He's played in multiple regions. Can you name them all?
PCS. Oh, PC. What's that? What? It's like the Taiwan region. Like I think that's what it is called. Like, is that count? Does that count?
I think
wrong?
saying Taiwan is
Taiwan.
yeah,
Taiwan. Okay, Taiwan. So I'll put Taiwan, Korea. Right.
Keep going.
Right. America. NA.
Wrong.
Wait, Os. Wait, I'm wrong already. I can tell I'm already wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're wrong.
I don't think
already.
That's fine. That's fine.
He never played in Taiwan, right? It was just Korea, Oceania, and NA.
Josh, thank you. We got
On the board, I can win. Give me that X, baby.
Where is it? Where is it? Oh, you want to be the X? My bad. Oh God, I'm not the best.
All right, give me Diplex. Give me Diplex after that.
Okay, Diplex. Who's Diplex's favorite pro player?
Himself.
Wrong. Concept.
I'm gonna guess Concept. Concept is the favorite player.
Wow.
Both
Wrong.
wrong.
Tough.
This has been a disaster, man.
This has been a disaster.
I gotta
At
go
least-
look at Twitch chat and see if they got any of these right, man. Anyway, the answer is Chovy. That is his favorite.
Wow, these questions are.
Get wrecked, Concept. One of us is on the board.
Yeah, no, I gotta give you props for that.
But none of you win. None of you got tic-tac-toe. You're both losers, man.
Okay, but to be fair, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but it kind of feels like it might have been planned that we lose. I'm not gonna lie. Like the APA question, like how am I supposed to know what animal APA likes? I mean, Goat would have been a good guess. But,
How do you not know BAP?
Okay, yeah, that
You were
that was
on
my
his
bad.
team.
That was my bad. But I'm just saying that the middle piece, like I'm arguing here from the game design perspective, I'm the player, right? Like this is why we brought me here. Like the middle piece being that hard, something was off. Like something was off. I was kind of off during that tic-tac-toe game because of it. So that's all I have to say. That's all I have to say.
You know what? Let's wrap up this disaster over here and send it to a place that's a little bit more calculated and coordinated. We're gonna throw it back to the caster's desk. Alice, take us away.
Thank you so much, Eric. And Concept, don't worry, I'm with you. I believe in the conspiracy. It's Eric is plotting against you guys. That's just what's happened. But we're getting into this one. We're tied up at 1 apiece. I'm excited because that last game nearly was our longest one of the playoffs, but not quite. And I'm curious to see, now that Cloud9 are back onto the blue side, they have yet to win a single game on red side. They are far more comfortable on the blue side. So going back to comfort, what do we see change?
It is worth noting that each of our teams did select blue side. C9 had game 1 selection, and then the selection goes to the loser of every game from there. So it looks like we're going to have side swaps for a while unless the team switches it up. I still think a really big pick for me is Rakan. Zazos Rakan was really good in that game. I think that C9 just kind of flubbed playing 3 lanes a little bit. Like the double TP being that opened up like for Baron, for TL, also Fake God, Diplex getting picked. Diplex kind of fell asleep in the top lane as the game ended there, gave him a 5v4. Those are mistakes we're not used to seeing from C9. When things get played at the highest level, you know, sometimes there are cracks that players have under pressure. It's part of the fun at playing competitive games at a high level. We saw a few of them there from C9.
And I like this change from Cloud9, taking Aphelios away from Arrow. 3 marksman ban levied at Arrow.
Yeah.
And with Xayah being banned by them and Zeri being left open, TLC, I feel like they're forced because Annie's something that they could have banned, but maybe they want to ban that Zeri instead.
So game 1 on red side, they took away Lucian first. They're going to take it away third too. I was going to say, if Lucian's up, they could have first picked that. Then if not, we would have seen if TLC is willing to play Lucian Nami. I'm looking at Wukong. I'm looking at Rakan. I think those are 2 big picks. Also, we haven't seen a huge Gragas prio. But yeah, so it's going to be Zeri.
Okay, I'm a little surprised about that one too. I mean, I'm wondering if TLC just go for a Wukong Rakan like immediately. It's been so big for Mir. Of course, the Annie takeaway was also something we saw before, and this could just be that really strong mid jungle duo we saw.
Looking kind of reminiscent of what we saw in game 1. Seeing a lot of things that are similar. I wonder if the Maokai Rakan pickup is going to be for Cloud9. Now that they're on the blue side. What are you giggling about?
I love how Zazel's just like walking back during pick ban. He's support on 5 pick. He just like bans a champ. He's like, I just need to get up for a sec. It's like, get a water, you know, get ready. He's fine. He's chilling for a little bit. They're talking to the room. It's all good. They're looking at each other, having a good time. I love that, man. as we do have the Malachi Rakan. So it is a mirrored draft compared to what we had in game 1 so far. It has to change here, though, because this is where Aphelios was locked in by Team Liquid Challengers. They got to find a different marksman to match in this area unless they want to go way down the pool.
Way down the pool. This isn't way down the pool. This is an arrow special, my guy.
That's right. It's a very comfortable champion for Arrows. Had a lot of games. I saw him play at mid at Risen like 2 years ago. And let's just say he's very competent on this champion. And it is that very lane strong as well.
It's Draven. We know Arrow can play it. We know he's good at it. He can lane well. It can win lane of this area. You are still playing Draven into Malachi Rakan later. And there are 2 other champs that C9 could take that can make life really difficult for Draven. So already, I'm a little bit worried for the later stages of the game for TL. Draven needs to get a kill, needs to get going. I love the Nautilus ban coming out of C9 because that's good in the Rakan and can help Draven snowball and get that first kill. I think that C9 need to continue to find ways to make Draven's life hell, because this champion, if you take range into it, like an Orianna, something like that, it makes life really hard later on for the Draven. So I want to see C9 continue to index into zone control.
Yeah, I really like the Renekton takeaway as well. Fake God was such a strong point in that top side in game 1. And this time around, TLC, very likely they're going to have a better time setting up around that Herald, even if they go for something tankier for Bradley once more like the Scion.
Now, do we see a Renata takeaway, or maybe they throw a ban at Bradley? So. They could ban the Kennen here. That is something they took away, or no? It's still going to be the Cassiopeia.
Right.
Okay, so now it's kind of decision time for TL. They could take something like a Scion, so they can hold the Annie flex. They could just put Annie bot, put that into Rakan, or they could go for something that can help snowball Draven harder, like maybe a Thresh, but then you have pretty much no damage. Leona's an old counter pick into Rakan. We've been seeing it crop up a little bit more as an answer, especially in other regions like LCK, and I know it's something that Kim plays really well, so it's going to be a Leona pick for Kim Down.
If I recall back when he was on UCI, it was the Leona Thresh that were like the 2 most played.
He's a good Leona.
Kim Down. So it's one of those champions that a lot of practice, a lot of time spent mastering how to play this champion, especially into, as you said, kind of one of the El Clasico counter pickups into Rakan. But now on the other side, Cloud9, they see that the Annie is going mid lane. They have options still. Even if Vigar's been taken away, that Swain pickup would have been really interesting. But Cassante, a very strong top laner.
I want to see Orianna. I want to see Syndra. I want to see Victor. Talia is great too. Just keep it easy. Make sure that you make it really difficult for Draven to step up. He is vulnerable to range, and it has to be good snap engages from TL if they want to have fights start off on their foot. The only reason I'm not thrilled with the Swain, yes, it's tough for Draven to play into, especially if it goes Rylai's, just applying the slow to everything, but it is a little bit more vulnerable. I don't want to say like early, like into the Annie, but it can get popped early on in the game. Like it's easier to pop early on. So that's the only slight concern I have, but C9, pretty solid comp that can survive Draven.
Yeah, we'll see once we get to a certain point too. Like Swain is very ult reliant as well. So Diplex is going to need to be getting a lot of value out of that CC so that you can make Draven's life more difficult.
Okay.
All right.
I think that, so another option there, you could have taken Fiora and then just like split the map. So it's like, hey, if we don't win early, we just have like Fiora late game, right? She can just run around the map and then we'll see if we win. Gwen's a little bit more team fight value. And Bradley, very comfortable on the Gwen. He used to play this back when he was a mid laner, when it was released, when he was playing with Arrow on that team.
Yeah, that's when Gwen was also disgusting, let's be honest.
It still was disgusting, we're to be honest, too. So
it's still disgusting,
I think that for Bradley and TLC, again, this is a lot of team fight, and we just have to see how sound are their engages, and can Draven get that first kill? Because if they do not kill targets when they burn Wukong ult, Annie ult, Leona ult, if they can't get any kills from that, they're going to be in big trouble later on. Because the sustain from a Zeri, Malachi, Swain, it's a lot for C9.
I mean, we've already seen Mir play this Wukong how many times this playoffs, and how many times has he single-handedly won fights in the games for his team on this champion?
6-3 on it after the loss earlier today, and it's been really good.
And here he is, game 3, back on it, up against Cloud9, tied up at 1 apiece in the lower finals. Both teams now have swung massively and hard at one another's face, getting good blow for blow. And like the tweet says, this is definitely a banger.
Absolutely. As we start off here at this level 1, again, just to reiterate how important it is for Arrow to be able to get the ball rolling on this Draven, stack up, cash in.
It's done.
Hey,
okay.
I mean,
all right, you know, just gotta trade back and forth. I'm a little surprised that this exchange lasted as long as it did.
Yeah, I think the idea here is just trying to get space to set up some of that level 1 vision. We know how important it is for
mental
Arrow
damage.
to be
First strike
okay. Yeah.
damage.
Oh yeah, true. That extra gold. I didn't even consider that. My bad. I got to be thinking more about the dopamine. You're right.
Let's see if we can see the gold. Just see how much APA got from that too. You know, that 50 odd gold that you get early on into the game.
Oh, it's probably less.
Yeah, probably less. Maybe 10 if we're lucky.
Yeah. But the psychic damage, magical, priceless.
Especially if you all chat like +20, you know?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Dignitas would. That's why they're in finals.
That's the difference maker right there. Nothing else. No, you're right, Kobe. You're spitting.
All right. We got mirrored clears again. I think that a mirrored setup does favor the safer junglers. So in this case, the Maokai a little bit. Makes it a little bit harder for Mirror to invade as he'll get the red buff later in the clear. So I do think this is an okay start for C9. He's going to work their way towards the bot side. And Wukong working his way up towards the top side. See if maybe they can get anything done into the Cassante as Gwen. As if Gwen is safe in that matchup. It could be big. I will say, earlier in this tournament, I do remember Bradley playing Gwen into a Cassante and going 0-3 into a certain top laner that may or may not be on our analyst desk. But again, Bradley, he's had some solid games on the Gwen. Game 1 wasn't the best game for him on the Olaf, but good chance for him to turn it around now in a matchup that he's comfortable with.
Hey, who cares about lane phase? It's all about the team fights. That's the mentality Bradley's brought so far. Hey,
like to
this
care
team
about
fights, you'd like to care about them, but when all else fails, as I do whenever I feed my lane, I always talk about the late game. And here, we
scale.
I mean, and I look at TL, as if they can get this Draven ahead early, Gwen scales really well into the game. Draven's no slouch at the damage he's going to provide as well.
I do like, honestly, I do like Gwen here. So Bradley does have that opportunity later on into the game.
Hold on.
Able to have that impact.
Something kind of cute going on the bot side. We just saw Zeyzal actually hover up. He was protecting Tomio from an invade. Mir was not spotted on his clear. That tells me that C9 actually thought that Mir was working maybe top to bot and it was a bluff leash, potentially. It was kind of curious to see Zeyzal up there, or that Mir was going to invade the red after just a blue, or maybe a weird reverse clear. So that, I mean, it tells me that C9 just doesn't know where Mir is right now. That could be big. But Bradley, to get this wave in, he's actually going to help with the crab. No, okay. Yeah, he should reset. Going to be a Cole base for Bradley. I like this a lot as the Gwen. She can really abuse attack speed and the Cole. She gives you some health back every auto. It's not bad.
And you get that early vision down as well. So now, even though they're not 100% sure where Mir is at the moment, they're going to be able to keep track of Tomio. Oh, yeah, now they know. But they're going to keep track of Tomio. And keeping an eye on this Maokai is going to be super important.
APA. Oh, you got to be really careful there. Nearly falling, just so
calculated.
Diplex has Mir there, so Diplex was very wise. You can tell Diplex is like, do I flash forward for this? Do I go for the Q?
Not to. Respect.
Still okay for the side of TL. They did get Bradley a nice base and APA. I mean, health is a resource, you know. Got out of there okay. Almost baited Diplex in. And was able to get those Lucidity boots. So TL, again, game plan for them is just how can they impact bot? And that's why I was really curious that Mir did clear bot to top, because again, Draven, if he doesn't get ahead, that's why you draft Draven. You draft and get kills, take advantage of that passive, and try and snowball the game forward, because he does so much damage in his kit. So Mir, I mean, his clear is going to keep on leading him towards that top side that doesn't really focus down on the Draven. And for me, that's an interesting game plan here for TL.
With C9 backing right now, 20 seconds until that dragon is up on the table. Looking at how Mir is at the moment, there is always that possibility. He just grabs these wolves and immediately books it to try to hover around either mid or bot lane, make sure they can secure that first objective.
It could be an option there, but you're seeing the move already come through. Arrow and Kim Down had that wave bounce back, so they're just going to go ahead and use that priority. But APA is pushed in, so this is a little dangerous.
But look at where Tomio is. Tomio's nowhere near.
Yeah, he's going to do wolves. It's an expensive dragon for TL. They're going to take a lot of damage from this dragon, and Mir is level 4, so Draven does help do it a little bit quicker, but it will be no contest. And TL, at least get step 1 for their comp wrapped up here. Zeyzal going to fish around, going to see the bad news, and I just decided to not take it.
Just kind of say, yeah, you know what, at least we'll know the timers, try to see if we can harass them before getting into the lane, deny a little bit from Arrow since he did lose out on some of the creep underneath turret. But all in all, still works out for TL.
I like the response, though, because Tomio was able to get a Raptors. He's a little bit ahead, and now Mir's going to be spotted here going for this, so Diplex can't answer. And Mir, oh, nice grand entrance. Mir's in trouble.
He has flashed. He could get over the wall, but not in time for the Supernova to pop.
Great answer from Zeyzal. That was set up after the dragon because Zeyzal found that info. He told Tomio, hey, you can take his respawn Raptors. Guess what? If his response is to take ours, we have an answer. And C9 were able to hit it. Really well done from C9 and Zeyzal.
Really nice planning. And even though we got some aggressive trading mid lane, this is Cloud9 getting things back into their pocket. They didn't get the dragon, but they have that extra bit of gold. They take Mir out of the picture, and they do deny some of that gold and XP. And TLC, we keep praising, who were finding these early game leads in these first few minutes. Now it's Cloud9 who find themselves ahead.
And I mean, they set Mir behind. We saw, remember game 1 when Mir was able to invade Tomio with the matched clear instead of the mirrored ones. I love the adaptation that C9 made to switch that around, and already they've set Mir behind. We saw that Wukong can get ahead against the Maokai in this matchup. TL needs to get ahead as a team in this game, so now Mir being behind is big, but now we have a fight in the top side. Kasante
getting a lot of damage, going all out against Bradley. That's going to be the needle work used as well. Trying to dodge away, heal up the best he can, but just not in time.
Wow.
Thank God, making sure that he brings the pain to Bradley.
Thank God, with the solo bolo is going to come. Oh, wait, do I see two? Mir's going to have to flash.
The turret. Thank God, taking way too many hits.
Oh, we got it, nice.
Too aggressive and gives some gold back to Mir.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty big, a bit of an answer back there. Mir gets some gold back into his pocket as a result. Fake God going in a little too deep, but we're starting to see what this Kasante can do, and now...
Lightning Crash, level 6. I like that from Lost, just trying to put the pressure back into the spot lane, but going back to that top lane play, initially, great stuff for Cloud9, but the fact that Mir was able to get the kill with the help of the turret, Fake God playing way too aggressive on that one. We were just saying how Tomio had these leads over Mir, and that was going to be difficult for Mir to come back from. Well, now he's got the gold he needs.
That was big. I mean, I still think it's bigger that Gwen got set behind. Like, Gwen, you really want the leeching Leer in this matchup. That's where things start to get a lot better for you. Bradley doesn't have it yet. We're going to take a second look. Fake God changed things really nicely. Here's the Kasante, and Fake God continues to be having a nice series here. As game 1 and now game 3, big impact finding important kills onto Bradley. This one's close. It's you know, he finds the double.
I respect it.
Yeah, I mean, it was close. If he does get that, he gets the, I think he gets the takedown. He gets the +20, the extra health, and he actually does live. So it's not. Yeah, just didn't have the damage. That was close, and that will matter for the Rift Herald, as right now we see Annie's moved up. There, Draven and Leona were bluffing upwards as well. This is spotted by C9, but with that wave under the turret, no ults available for the side of Cloud9. Might just be a free Rift going over to TL. Looks like C9 seeding it, already trying to make a play on the bot side.
Looking for...
And they really needed that one, considering how things have been going in those early minutes. So that's still something they could be playing for. They are going to lose a lot on the bottom side. I'm hoping Mir also goes for the invade. Trades camps away, but this puts a lot of pressure on Arrow and Kim Down because now the dive is being threatened on that side. And even though Kim Down is 6, you have a lot of CC to play for here. They still need to be very careful. You can't afford to lose.
They've already spotted out, though. They're already out of there. They understand what was being set up, so they're just, ooh, no, canceling the backs, fading the backs. Asomio is vacating the vicinity. Looking at how TLC right now, just playing on the map, you know, they are losing out on some aspects. I think it's still not necessarily terrible. All they have to do is get one play for Arrow, one early kill, and suddenly this bot lane completely spirals out of control for Cloud9. And this is where I look and bring our attention to Mir and APA. How they've been as a duo, we look at them. This entire playoffs has been one of the big aspects of how the team has found successes. APA, the rookie player, playing with the world caliber jungler in Mir, having just went last year, and how they've worked so well together. We need to see that here in Game 3.
Mir being that, or APA rather, being that player who's been honestly consistent throughout this entire split, a player who we were hoping would finally get that call this year, and he did. Over onto Team Liquid Challengers, and he has really shown up. Him and Mir are big parts of why a lot of the wins, even though they were struggling, TLC were able to get.
Use a lot of time here to make sure they can get this kill on a Fake God.
They needed that. They really needed that one. Gwen was falling behind. The Cubby already talked about it. You need some of those early components coming through here, and now with the Herald, they're going to get that.
And that's, yeah, they're going to drop the Herald and just funnel Bradley. I like the call. That's worth dropping this Dragon for as gold on Gwen. That's one thing that can really get you back into the game in the later stages. If Gwen's able to be big in the team fight, there isn't a ton of damage, upfront damage on the comp of C9. And I mean, if Gwen's allowed to run out those fights with the scissors, we've seen the damage that Gwen can do.
Oh my God.
That's first brick for TL. Everything going over to Bradley and Mir.
That's so important. That's so big for this Gwen, who, I mean, is going to be big in these team fights. And we were talking about the pathing there early on for Mir, always leading him towards that top side, even though we want this Draven to go ahead for TL if they want to be able to get the win here. But props to Arrow and Kim down. I mean, the Leona makes it a little scary to try and dive them, especially post 6. And the fact is, I mean, despite all the attention, they've gotten so much. They've been keeping up in CS so well, and Arrow and Kim down are in a good spot.
Hey, can we have our observers actually check that top wave? I think Fake God pulled it and might have actually freezed it. That's pretty big, actually. I think this is a little bit of a mistake from TL, because they're going to lose a couple waves for free in resources, and Bradley's kind of going to be a little bit homeless here for a sec. He's not going to have a wave to farm as Fake God pull that deep. That's a really small play from Fake God, but I do want to highlight that. That's the right response. I like freezing when there are no objectives to take on the map. It's exactly the state that we're in at the moment. So Bradley just gets starved out a little bit. That's going to help Fake God quite a bit. Really nice decision there from C9.
Looking at Mir and his positioning at the moment, he is looking to now impact the spot lane. He's got Bradley 1,000 gold over Fake God. After the play didn't go so well earlier on, getting that fully plated turret of gold over to this Gwen with that Riftmaker already completed now, gonna make it so that you don't have to worry about Bradley anytime soon. It's all about how you play on this bottom half of the map, get control of these dragons.
And now you can see, APA. Wow, he is making sure Diplex can't do anything about this Raptor respawn coming through here. And Arrow, nothing's going to be going on here. We're a few minutes away from any objective. Next dragon is coming up in 3 minutes. Ocean Soul, very powerful, big for TL in the last game here in this series. And the fact that Arrow and Arrow specifically is still looking for the cash in on that Adoration is something to keep an eye on as well. That first kill is really going to turn things around for TL, who already find themselves about 2k up.
What's that though on the top half of the map?
Oh,
they're going to crash this wave, and all this gold is on either Gwen or Wukong at this point in the game. They've really made sure that it's the top half with how the early pathing was. This is where I bring back that conversation about Mir and APA. And I really want to see when Mir, APA, this duo, can work together to really play around this bot lane, especially now that Arrow, not even getting a kill, cashing in on the Adoration stacks, has already completed his Mythic.
I'm guessing it's going to be, hold on.
You wanted the plate.
Yeah, you wanted the plate, he was greedy for it. No, he will survive. The Solar Flare saves his life, and they get the killing spree from Mir with the re-engage from Zeyzal Tomio bouncing around to the flash out of Mir. He's ignited. He's got distance. He's safe. And Arrow scares away the two that were in hunt.
I mean, free kills. There's no objective up and a little bit of a trade. APA greeting for the plate. He knew he had backup as his bot lane was walking mid, and TL wins out in the map rotation. Again, that's TL playing well as a team. Yeah, APA is greeting for that. He's going to take damage. He's going to eat the ult, but hey, it was calculated, right? He knew he had people behind him. A little bit of a risk, but it pays off. He had the info that he had, and it worked out really well.
And health is a resource, like you said, and APA has been using it very, very well. And now you get Bradley in this opportunity. I like this from TL. Now they're moving him around the map, letting him be in the side lane, collecting turret gold, and really just kind of nullifying the effects of that freeze we saw earlier on. He managed to get the wave crash. He's going to be able to get a lot of damage in this turret and just
and key will be now, that Herald will be the next objective that does spawn here shortly. I mean, real key is just to see, like, does Bradley rotate up for this? Also, with Diplex in the bot lane, I think it is important to note, Diplex did rush the Rylai's. That is pretty strong this game, given how many people do have to dive in for TL. And then we did talk about how Draven does struggle with range. Annie has range, but is still squishy in the backline. Rylai's is very valuable this game for C9 and slowing things down. And that rush for Diplex, maybe part of the reason why they ended up locking in that Swain.
Works well, especially with Zeri, keeping them all corralled. Getting extra damage here for Diplex. This game, far more with the supportive style than we've seen from the past two games, where he really had more of the helm, more of the control in his lane phase. He did get that early kill onto APA, but since then, in this game, it's all been about farming back and forth, dying as he tried to get APA, who is greeting for a plate. Pretty much made this mid lane a net neutral, no longer one of those powerful aspects that Cloud9 have been playing around this series, this entire playoffs as a whole.
And I was wondering about that timing of a recall there from Zeyzal was a little awkward, but they have vision on the bottom side. And TL, they're not interested in the Dragon. They want that second Herald. They have a lot of CC, a lot of dive threat. I would have preferred them trying to play for more of the Soul, as I think it's a buff they need. But they believe that, I mean, one, with the gold lead they have, they can just start knocking down more structures, get control of the map. If you break down this mid-tier 1 turret, it will make it easier for you to be able to set up for future Dragons, and they're going straight for it.
Immediately, they drop it. Dragon hasn't even been taken yet by Tomio. He was all on it by him lonesome.
They get
this
two turrets.
Be 2 charges, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
I think it's 2 charges. I think it's 2 turrets, as they do have Arrow here. The key is, does C9 fight afterwards? They can walk up to Bradley.
That's 4v5.
Yeah, it's also risky, because look at the back line. They already have the flank, and they've got the attention. They're on to Arrow. He flashed away. He has no mana, so they have to leave out the rest of the members to dry. They're slowed down by their allies. Mirror's the big target. Take down the monkey, and you've got the shutdown. Gift it over to Diplex to make it even better.
They got stuck. They could have walked up to Bradley. They did not. Bradley not being there. C9 gets the 5v4s. The rotation was better. The engage from Maokai wasn't able to be dealt with by TL. And that power play for them trying to get 2 turrets, it fails. And C9, they pick up some much needed gold and this 3rd Dragon.
A rare moment of disconnect there from TLC. I mean, fact is, you have Bradley out in the side lane. As soon as you see Fake God on this Cassante, you know that you're in a lot of trouble of getting engaged on here. And this path thing, as soon as they walked this way, it was over. There was really nothing they could do. It was a numbers advantage for Cloud9, and it was a beautiful collapse, honestly.
Let's get shut down gold on Mirror. I think that's also a big thing to really help out Diplex. I was just saying how he had been struggling a little bit, but now he's bounced right back into it. 3-1-1 on Swain.
I also want to credit Fake God and Zeyzal. They were the ones that were defending that inner turret. Them walking up into that choke that would have connected them with Bradley through the Wolves camp, that did help force TL have to go north. That got them in range sooner, made sure Bradley can never rotate. That's a really small thing, but still really well done by the side of C9 as they continue to make some good decisions in this game and continue, I mean, to scale. Only down 1k gold, no stacks cashed in for Draven. That's big, and I think that all eyes have to be on Draven here to see if C9 can take Arrow down.
Yeah, the saving grace from that last fight was that Arrow didn't die. He holds on to those adoration stacks, and it's going to be a fat cash-in.
Right.
8 minutes in this
if
game.
he can cash in, that is.
If he can cash in, that's right.
He's got a lot of them, and right now they are playing defense of the Draven. They're putting everyone, making sure that he is the salvation. They are getting everything to keep him alive.
It was a really nice rotation. They got the top wave in deep. So after that, they actually put 4 bot, put Bradley mid. So they were able to catch that wave. Now Bradley goes to catch that top wave that was shoving back in. So again, TL, we still see their really good map movements in macro, able to take a lot of objectives on the map. Just, you know, manipulating waves and playing around them correctly. I do really like that from TL on the 4-1. I think they played that very well. And again, they keep on making some decent decisions to stay in this game. But C9, I mean, as things go on, it's scary, man. Like, Draven, Annie, it's so tough for them to play into Maokai and a Rylai Swain.
Seeing that right now, where that last fight, what damage did Arrow even get off in that last fight?
How can they move?
Yeah.
He can't move. He couldn't get anywhere close.
And walk away.
Yep, pretty much. So that's all he could really do, unless they can find a pick out. Unless they are the ones to find these fights first, utilizing Mirror and Kim down, working in tandem. Another pair, another duo that we've seen grow together throughout the playoffs and how they play with one another. It's got to be on their engages to really set up Arrow, so that way he's not the one getting forced away from every fight.
At the moment, you can see Lost is the one who is far ahead now. 1,000 gold up onto Arrow on this area, and as long as the cash-in doesn't come through, that's likely going to continue for Cloud9's side. I mean, we talk about Arrow and Kim down. Lost and Zeyzal, we were continuously calling them best bot lane in the league, and for the most part, like, there is just no reason to doubt that statement. Lost being that incredibly aggressive player. He got punished for it a little bit in game 1 during certain moments, but overall has been able to find kills where, I've said this a lot, where I didn't think he had a kill there. And it's like, oh, hey, what's Lost walking up to do? Oh, he killed somebody. Well, cool, I guess it's just Lost things.
This is something Zeyzal's also praised a lot about playing with Lost. Is how aggressive he is as an ADC, where he knows that Lost is probably going to play more aggressively than even Zeyzal will look for. And Zeyzal's a very aggressive support, which is something I love about him as well.
Yeah.
Seeing how he's played this Rakan this entire series. The last game, how he had that huge 4-man knock-up Recon ult as well. And given that power once more in this game with Lost back on Zeri, but in a far better position than we've seen throughout this entire series.
And now, CL kind of find themselves in a tough spot.
Yeah.
This bot lane tier 1 goes down. I mean, you have Bradley splitting topside, but you just don't have any pressure. Like, you're down in gold. Realistically, you're down in stats. Lost is in a really strong position at the moment here. And I actually really like this teleport. Back, spend the gold, keep this mid wave pushed in to guarantee control over this Drake. TL have to walk through River, but they're going to have the information on the side of Cloud9.
I mean, TL goes through bot side. I think it's fine for them. Bradley does have a little bit of a chunk on the fake god that is big, as top laners, they do each have TP. Mir is spotted out by the saplings. Good scouting here from Tomio. So C9 playing with a lot of info. And as long as Diplex holds this top flank, TL is kind of stuck for playing behind or around.
Looking for APA. Flashed away. Arrows on the other side. Still trying to get the damage. Trying to get the kills. Couldn't cash in just yet. But they got the knockup from Mir. They've got to be careful because now they're fighting into Diplex as he's got his ult off. And guess what? Lost has got the power. He's got the lightning crashing down on TLC.
And the TP was canceled. Bradley was never able to get into here. Fake out. If he loses this 1v1.
Ooh, that was close. Inches, but Bradley barely comes out on top.
Saving grace, but TL, they lose so much on their fake god going so clutch, keeping Bradley out of this fight. We talked about this, Glenn, and how impactful he is not just inside, but in team fights. And keeping him away is what seals the deal here, not only on the dragon, or rather, they say, forget the dragon. We're going straight to the Baron.
And Fake God, he'll take dying there to cancel that TP any and every time. As you can see, again, how difficult it is to fight front to back for TL, and how valuable this Swain is when you have a Leona jumping in, a Wukong jumping in. And once you lock down Annie as well, it's so tough for the carries at TL to play out these fights being immobile. As Tomio to start, he flashes on the APA. APA can't move. He gets caught by the root. Zazel chains him up, and he doesn't get any damage down. Now Mir jumps in. Guess what? You can't kill Swain if you don't have the damage. Arrow can't even walk up. He dies. And with the TP being canceled, any hope of, Bradley having a big team fight where all the cooldowns are down, it goes to the wayside. No chance for TL to even play. C9's playing out this comp very well.
And
Arrow couldn't even get damage out either.
Exactly. And the adoration stacks, he lost so many of them because he finally went down. And that big snowball tool you're hoping for isn't really going to be paying off. The only saving grace, again, in the picture-in-picture, we see TLC pick up that second Drake. So it's 2 apiece right now, but it's honestly the small things.
Yeah, you don't care, right? You're C9, you outscale. You're okay having the game go an extra 5 minutes. If you can get 2.5k gold now from the fight, from the Baron you just picked up, not to mention all the objectives that are going to fall with that Baron as C9 takes another turret down, push that gold lead to 3.5k.
Plus, the adoration stacks for Arrow was over 500 before he died. That's so many stacks that he lost out now. That comeback mechanic that you were just talking about, the gold they could possibly get here, well, they're 3,500 gold behind Cloud9. This is probably one of the smallest deficits we've seen of TL so far in this series, but it feels like the largest just with how far behind most of their players are.
I mean, hey, I'm not saying it, all right? This is not coming from me. It's coming from a tweet I saw that, just recently on broadcast, and where that Concept said the game's done and dusted. So I guess C9, it's in favor of C9. I guess C9 went. I'm not saying it. I'm just, Concept said it.
I will say, that's kind of a big deal considering how he just talked about how he doesn't like when people say that. Yeah. So hearing him kind of say that is a bit of a statement. And I will say, TLC's comp, this is really hard to play in from the position that they're in. And that's why I kind of understand that sentiment where you have to play these fights out so well. Once more, Team Liquid challengers have to play for the pick. They have to catch someone out, pray to whatever gods you believe in that Arrow gets some semblance of a cash in here because he's been keeping up in farming items, but Draven needs leads and
a big story at this point of the game, because we've hit this point of the game, the last two, right? Where C9, they have the comp we favor a little bit later. They have a gold lead. They take the first Baron. They're playing the map really well. TL, the last 2 games, have found ways to get back in. It even won them game 2.
Yeah.
We talk about how, that does help build up confidence no matter what the result is for the series. Especially, they managed to pick up game 2 in a game that I thought was done in favor of C9. The real question for me now is, can C9 close this one out soundly? Because it feels like we feel the comp is the one where this is the most guaranteed win. It's the hardest for TL to play into in this game state. C9 has to make sure that this is a clean one, just to get some confidence going for themselves and how they're able to close out games in this series.
And it's really important for a team that we said were the favorites in the entire tournament. A team, oh, hold on a sec.
Here, looks caught out right there, and he is definitely caught out. He has a blast going, but he couldn't even get there. He was bounced around forever, and it's rampage for Lost.
Flash was on like a 5-second cooldown too. That's gotta be one of the worst feelings. But I mean, that's not your jungle anymore, Mir. You can't be walking in there, especially when few people are showing on the map. And it's just back to what we were talking about too. Yeah, we do expect Cloud9 to be those tournament favorites, and in such a winning position like this, we gotta see them close it out. Now, I mean, Bradley's really the only point of power. As you can see, he's got so much gold approaching that third item. And he 1v1s Fake God every time, let's be honest.
The big thing is Bradley hasn't been a part of any of these fights so far. The cancel TP from the last one, he still has quite a lead over Fake God. And if they can rely on anybody, it's the 2 Chainz man himself, the guy who's won back-to-back, the only player that we have to have that luxury, have the 2 Chainz trying to get back for his 3rd one in a row.
I think I'm keeping an eye on too. Fake God, if all he does for the rest of this game is keep Bradley in the side lane, that is a mission accomplished. That is a job well done. Because Bradley is still that saving grace, like you talked about, Magical. The fact that he is such a gold lead, he is in such a powerful position. When that death cap comes through, he could game change some of these skirmishes and team fights. So keeping him inside, keeping him away from the team is how you kind of snowball this as Cloud9.
And it's funny. I remember last summer, against 100 Thieves, and it was the top 4 match for TL. Bradley had one of the most ridiculous fights I've seen on a Gwen. I think it was game 3 of that series. It was 1-1 at the time. TL were down like 5-6k gold, and Bradley managed to put together a huge fight that got TL that game 3 win, that series win, in which they ended up winning that second chain. If Bradley, he wants that 3rd ban. It's 1-1 right now. If anyone's going to bring TL back into this game, it's got to be Bradley that can clutch up. It's not an easy ask. It's a really tough scenario. And it looks like Bradley, for now, is going to keep on splitting the map, trying to get more resources and extend the life of this game, as TL know the rest of the map is in trouble.
Well, you'd think we'd change the script by now, that there'd be some sort of twist into this. We're not just going to we're not going to rehash this.
It would have been a round later. We did keep the same 3 teams, to be fair, in the script, you know.
Yeah. You know, we're consistent. If anything, Magical, you got to give us that. And at least TLC, with getting that Drake earlier on, did get them that little bit of a buffer. They can focus on this top side of the map, shadow Bradley as he tries to push in deep, but
then you might have to sacrifice Kim down just to make sure that Bradley can survive.
Wow.
They wanted to get some control back, but because Kim down is way too squishy early on, and too many members of Cloud9 were already answering to make sure they could play around this Baron, TLC back on the back foot.
You are mincemeat as Leona if you get behind. And it's not like, you know, Nautilus might be paper, but he does have a way to spider knot his way out of things. Leona does not. So Kim down, gonna take a timeout in the gray screen, and it looks like timeout might be heading over for TL as this Baron started this 4v5. Sazel has a great angle. This is tough.
Bradley has CP, but I don't know if they want to use that for this one.
It's really hard.
Without the ult either, down to 25% health. Mir can't even get into the pit. He's focused by Tomio. They're just collapsing on top of him instead.
Okay.
Make sure there's no smite fight.
Oh,
that's how you do it.
Baron resets. Who cares? Smites off the table. You still get it. I mean, why a couple flashes burned by the side of C9, but they all did it together. Why not, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's about that guaranteed kill. You take him out of the picture. The Whirling Dead, unfortunately, does not secure it, and that's the second Baron over to Cloud9 Challengers. They've just picked up another big chunk of gold. Bradley, lordy lord, this boy's big. He's going to keep on pushing in the bot lane, and realistically, this is almost starting to be a bit of a Hoon cosplay coming through here. I want to know later on when we're finished the game how many turrets Bradley took all by his lonesome. He's at least keeping the map somewhat open here for TLC, but it's still tough scenes.
Oh, that's big. He burned W. He burned W.
They want Bradley. That's all they need. As long as they can take him out of the equation, that's going to be big. All out use, looking for Fake God's backline onto Bradley. He's hiding it down
Bradley,
the best he can. But it's Bradley on Gwen, fighting back valiantly. Deflex, he goes gold.
Nice stopwatch. Oh my
Bradley
god.
surviving. He takes down one. Bradley still alive. Bradley! 2 Chainz finally falls to Lost. He silences TLC.
But while that's going on, you can see Arrow took more damage from Tomio. Diplex, that Zanya's was so good. The space he bought Bradley did his best, but it's not nearly close to enough as the rest of TL can't do anything to the comp of C9.
And Bradley just can't make up for the deficit on the rest of the map here. You called it. Diplex was so good at controlling space there. Now he's 7-1-8 on the Swain. And this is what we wanted to continue seeing from Cloud9 Challengers. They find the openings. They take it. The teleport comes through from, I mean, both solo laners. Cloud9, very high propensity to just blow both their summoners if they find the angle. And look what it's gotten them. 2 inhibitor turrets down. And we're 2 minutes away from the Dragon Soul.
Here, the game still, it goes, and all this committed onto Bradley, and nearly Bradley was able to turn it around.
I mean, this is crazy. Like, he was doing so much damage, but the big thing here, I'm looking at Diplex, honestly. He is CCing, the Rylai's is going crazy, and he's just got this big circle that you cannot get through. And it's even worse when he uses the Zanyas. He's continuously healing, continuously putting out the AoE damage and slow while being invulnerable. It makes the space for loss to do all this damage. So even as fed as he is, Bradley can't help.
And while all this is going on, Tomio's just simply queuing the Draven away. He's like, nope, you do not get to even get close to the Swain. You get soloed for the whole fight. Again, this is going to be the difficulty of Draven against Swain Malachi. You just cannot move, especially with the Rylai's rush in this composition. You can even see Arrow walk through a Malachi there with how far behind him and the rest of the team is. Now Bradley, he can't even split push anymore. He's relegated to the base. Yeah, he has that TP, but with no Ghost on Bradley, you got to imagine there's no chance at all for TL as the Baron up creep's just going to end up knocking down more objectives.
There's just a few more seconds left on that Baron. Should take at least this mid lane inhibitor, maybe even the bot one as well. Because Arrow, oh, that's tragic. He's dead the moment he came out of stasis. And without him, look at Diplex. Look at how confident he can play against 2 members under 2 turrets. All the while, Bradley against 4 cannot fight either. Lost his 2 fed. They killed Swain, but what else did they lose for it? They've lost all control of their base.
I mean, that's got to be it. You have waves here, you got 2 inhibitors down, and long spawn timers, Cloud9 Challengers. We wanted to see them close things out nice and cleanly, and unless TL do something, that's what's going to happen.
Miracle beyond miracles has to happen right now. There's too many minions. 1 turret falls. Cloud9, your #1 seeded team, 1 step away from getting back to the finals. They have been denied for years upon years since the beginning of Proving Grounds. They have yet to taste that glory of a finalist day, and here they are 1 game away.
Did you guys see that on the cam? Yeah, he hit the gritty.
Love it.
A little bit of a celebration dance.
Hey,
you love to see it.
It was a good Swain pick, I gotta say. And hey, think about the strategy there for C9. What are we gonna do? Take blue side, triple marksman ban, pick Sari. The answer in the Draven, zone control for days from C9. They neutralized that Draven through draft, neutralized it through their gameplay. I thought it was a really sound game plan and the best executed game we've seen so far from C9. And we'll see if TL can turn things around. They need to win 2 in a row.
Almost the Bradley factor came into the part of it as well. So close, but not nearly enough. It needed to happen sooner if that game was going to be TL's at all. Cloud9 Challengers, that was their best performance. They cleaned it out very convincingly and now are 1 step away from getting back to the grand finals that they haven't seen since 2021 spring. We're going to toss it to a break, and when we come back, we'll bring back Eric and the rest of the desk. Make sure you stay tuned.
This weekend, you've seen regular seasons, you've seen LCS playoffs, but you've never seen this. It's time for a Super Heavyweight Smack Down! Tic-tac-toe challengers sit atop a throne of bones crafted from the remains of their adversaries. 1 more match to determine their #1 contender. In the red corner, Team Liquid Challengers entered the tournament as the 9th seed and ran through the competition. Led by World Jungler Mir, assisted by rookie mid laner APA and support Kim Down, carried by veteran Arrow, and motivated by 2 Chains top laner Bradley. 3 consecutive finals, back-to-back champion, Team Liquid Challengers! And in the blue corner, this This team dominated the regular season with 2 of the best mid laners in the league. Undefeated until their scrap against Dignitas, and they're hungry for a rematch. Big God, Diplex, Lost, Zazel, 4 players with LCS experience climbing their way back to the top of the region, with sophomore year jungler Tomio as their guard dog. This org looks to reclaim the space they once owned in 21 Spring. Cloud9 Challengers awaiting their opponent in the grand finals. The raid boss of Spring, the tuckers of the league, ready to return to the LCS. Hoon with the single most solo kills of any player in the league. XU with his signature carry picks and heavy invade playstyle. Insanity with his ability to win matchups harder than anyone should. Spawn as the ringer from LCS and consistent team fight threat. Diamond as the winningest support in the history of the league. This team was built to take the title, and they have one more best of 5 in their way. Dignitas Challengers! Who will win the NACL Spring Split? Who will walk away victorious? Find out on this week's Super Heavyweight Smackdown!